The excitement in the Vatican City yesterday when the white smoke appeared from the chimney above the Sixtine Chapel was incredible. Crowds cheered as they waited to see the new Pope walk onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. And I'll say it was amazing, and we'll say the first U.S.-born Pope. And here to tell us how important this is to the Catholic Church is Bishop Dolan of the Catholic Diocese of Phoenix. U.S.-born Pope. What else can we say? Very quick. Well, I thought it was quick, but you were saying that, 4 was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's how many we had with Pope Benedict, and then Pope Francis was 5 votes, and so yeah, 4 votes is a good name. It's great to see you, Brad.
Yeah, nice to see you too, Bishop. It's always nice when you come in, and these type of days are great because we have a new Pope, which is important. I know a lot of people have been doing a deep dive into him, have been looking to see, but a lot of people are wondering about the future of the Catholic Church with him, and will he continue with Pope Francis's vision?
I think in some way he will, because he came out with his first words were, listen, we got to be peace bearers, not just an absence of war, but really we've got to take ownership of peace, and that's certainly what Pope Francis would say. He also said, we've got to build bridges, which is really, we've got to reach out to the periphery. So a lot of what Pope Francis would have said earlier is that's going to continue. So I think in some ways he will do that, but he'll also shine a light on the gospel from his own particular perspective too.
And that's even with the name he picked, because a lot of people were like, Leo, where'd this name come from? And kind of like bringing it back from history.
Yeah, it was Leo DiCaprio. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was most likely, nobody knows for sure, but the previous Leo XIII, was a pre-World War I and II, that whole century Pope. So that Pope at that time kind of sniffed out the reality that war was coming. And so he spoke about peace. And then the other thing about Pope Leo XIII, late 1800s, early 1900s, it was during the time when there was a need to address workers' wages and dignity and all of the rest. So he wrote an encyclical on the dignity of the human worker. And it was all during the political, philosophical debates of, say, Marxism or unbridled capitalism. So he focused on the human person in between all of that.
And that's why he picked that name.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future, and I guess going forward with the Catholic Church, because this really does put it into a new light with the new Pope, new things going on. Will it affect anything right away?
I don't think it's going to. I think from our perspective here in Phoenix, it's not going to change anything. The only thing I have to make sure I remember is to say Leo our Pope instead of Francis our Pope when I say Mass.
Yeah.
And I guarantee I will probably mess it up at least the first few times.
Yeah.
But I think things aren't really going to change too dramatically. He's going to have to look at the people in the offices and take a look at is this where he wants to go. But I think at this moment he's going to be just in a listening mode and just trying to discern who's who in the zoo.
Yeah. This kind of came out of, we could say, left field for Pope Leo, because everyone was expecting to see a U.S. born Pope there. They were looking at Italian, they were looking at South Africa, they were looking at a lot of different people.
Right.
So with this, do you think this was kind of like already kind of like in the works when Pope Francis was sick? They sat down and talked a little bit, and I know it's God choosing, but was it something they all kind of like were thinking?
Well, I think there's a human dimension to this, and grace builds on nature. We hope and pray that the Holy Spirit is center in that room when the Pope's or the conclave was taking place.
Yeah.
But it is a human. We're all human, and so naturally there's going to be conversations about who's possibly going to rise to the top or whatever. So there will always be 2 or 3 people in that. It was not one on my radar specifically, partly because we thought, well, it'd be too much to have a pope who's a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Might be too much power in one place.
Right.
You know? So we always kind of said that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it did.
And whoever took that bet, they're walking away pretty rich right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Right.
Very quickly, I know what's very interesting too is that since we did pick the pope, but we were saying that there was someone who actually was kind of like looking to be pope, but said they didn't want to do it. I mean, kind of like they talk and say they were in the running, then they kind of like say, you know what, this is maybe not where I'm supposed to be, and that can they say no?
Oh, well, I guess anybody can say no because they do ask the question, do you accept? So, yes, that's always a possibility. It's one of those hard things. I think the bottom line is it's tough because the whole conclave is so long and tedious and boring. I think sometimes these guys just want to get out.
Yeah.
So please accept. On behalf of the rest of us, please accept. Yeah.
Bishop, I'm so glad you stopped in
you.
on a busy schedule and everything going on. We want to remind people that you can, of course, see Mass right here on the CW7 Sunday mornings. With the bishop at times, but this Sunday you're going to be with Mom.
I'll be in San Diego with Mom, so for Mother's Day.
Well, thank you for stopping in.
Thank you.
There you go. And for information on, of course, Mass, you can go ahead and over to the CW7AZ.com.